Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today in this video we're going to be doing a Resident Evil 9 review. We're going to be looking at the pros and the cons of this game and just overall seeing the general experience from a point of view of a Gen Zer such as myself, and why I believe that this game is not a masterpiece but just mid. Anyways, let's get into it. The pros of Resident Evil 9 is of course going to be the gameplay itself, as the gameplay aspects are taken from each one of the previous Resident Evil games that was done, and it combines them all together in this game, which just makes the whole franchise tie together real nice for the gameplay aspect of this game. I'm going to be starting off in chronological order of each game's release from the game franchise. So the first game that they adapt some of the features from is Resident Evil 2, such as the return of Mr. X that you have to battle again, as well as that you have to go through many small enclosed action battle sections or rooms as the character Leon, while you try to weaken and then finish off your opponents that you're battling, while also that you are battling zombies on top of that as you go through the rooms in your mission. The second game that they adapt some features to is Resident Evil 3, as you are taken back to Raccoon City and are pursued by a tyrant, which of course is Mr. X instead of Nemesis, while also having to battle the undead in that city. The third game that they adapt some features to is the fourth game, Resident Evil 4, which they mostly adapt some features just for one character, Leon Kennedy, such as his action moves like backflips, kicks, and just the chainsaw usage of that tool or weapon. For Resident Evil 5, they use the chasing with vehicles with Shiva and Chris in that game. But in this game, it's Leon who's being chased by mutated, zombified dogs throughout Raccoon City. The last two games that they use to adapt their features into this game are the recent two games that just came out not too long ago, which are the seventh game, which uses a first-person horror aspect in that game, and the eighth game, which uses an action horror aspect in that game. And what they do in this game is combine them together for the new character Grace Ashcroft. The cons of Resident Evil 9 are of course going to be the story of Requiem, due to the fact that it is inconsistent in the lore of the franchise with the movies and the characters of the games. So let's do a little rundown and start off at the beginning of this game, which is not bad in my opinion, as it introduces us to the main protagonists and antagonists of the game, which is Grace Ashcroft, Victor Gideon, Leon Kennedy, and Sherry Birkins in the background, while also introducing us to the mystery of the game, which of course is that there is a new virus in this game that's creating undead zombies this time. I'm not going to give a whole rundown of the entire game because it is just another Resident Evil game as usual. You kill zombies, you go to the villain's lair or like lab or mansion or something like that and battle them and battle all the minions and stuff like that, and you search around and look at stuff to craft, and it's just like the other games, basically in the same way. But as the game progresses on, you don't really get any answers into what this new infection is. You just get more questions on to like why it is. Like an example would be like, how did Leon and Sherry get this infection, yet none of the other games are really exposed to this virus though? It doesn't make any sense. Like, it's not even explained that if this is a T-virus variant or something from the past. And also, it doesn't explain like who's the other antagonist of the game, like Xeon, like the end of the game only solves like 2 mysteries that the game presents us with. Like the other virus, Elpis, is just a cure for viruses, and Grace Ashcroft's role in this game, which is stupid and poorly explained, is apparently she has no reason to be there, because we're told that she's just a normal girl who they made clones of and experimented on the clones. And she didn't even know the password to get Elpis. She just figured it out like when she got there, so it was just like weird. Like, why didn't they grab her like sooner in life? Like they waited till like she was like an FBI agent. Like what? And then there's the location of where this takes place at the end of the game. Is supposedly it's in a facility that's called the Ark, and it's under Raccoon City, which doesn't make any sense because like there's already a facility underneath Raccoon City that we played through in the second game. That doesn't make any sense. And apparently the whole reason they blew up the city is because of this facility. They didn't want this virus getting out, which doesn't make any sense because literally that retcons the second and 6th game. The other cons of this game is that the characters' descriptions and just the overall design of them just doesn't look right, and it doesn't really make sense. So starting off, we have Grace Ashcroft, as we play as her throughout the game, which was not bad, but she was just like afraid all the time, given the fact that she is an FBI agent who's going through more advanced training, or has been through more advanced training, both physically and psychologically, than like a cop like Leon, who handled himself better in the second game. Or like other female characters in the series, like Claire Redfield, who didn't have any other training at all, like no cop, no nothing, still handled herself better. Or even someone who was scared, kind of like her, like Ashley Graham in the 4th game of Resident Evil, which just shows that like I don't know what the hell this character was supposed to be, like tough or like scared and wimpy. Like it's weird. It's like I know they're maybe like trying to like not give the strong female character type like they have in like most common modern stuff nowadays, like in most games and most movies, like Rey from Star Wars or something like that. But I mean, like, hey, come on, you can write a tough character and still have them female and not have people or guys go offended over it or write them badly, or just because they have to make them scared or something like that. Like, it just makes no sense. The next character is an antagonist, like the villain, one of the villains, Victor Gideon, who has great design to him. That's new, and in the beginning he was interesting, but as the game progressed on, his depth and aura faded away, and instead he just spent the whole game running around laughing his ass off like a little creep guy, and he just had no effect. Like, he was nothing, like I don't feel anything with him, like, no scaring, like, I'm not even like scared at all about him. He's just nothing. Like, he's just a little creep little bitch. He was running around and just doing little stuff, like, anyways. And then at the end of the game he just turns into some big biomass monster like in every other game of Resident Evil. That's how it ends. Like, wow, real original, guys. Like, wow, something new. So the last character I want to talk about is the character of Xeon, who is an antagonist in this game as well, and supposedly he's a clone of Wesker, which doesn't really make any sense itself, and his design is just terrible, as he's dressed in a white mafia suit with a black jacket and a cross ear piercing on his ear. on one of his ears, which gives off a punk look, which it's just not Wesker at all. Like, I don't know what the hell these guys were going with here. Like, it's just so weird. It's just lack of creativity that these people put in these games nowadays. It's just gone downhill. So before I get a bunch of comments saying that I got this character's name wrong by calling him Xeon instead of Zeno, I just want to say that I prefer Xeon instead because it sounds better, and Zeno just sounds more Italian. Like I said, he dresses like an Italian mafia man. He has a name like an Italian. Why didn't they just make him Italian? Like, it just makes perfect sense for him to have been an Italian man as a character. Anyways, that's all I can say about that. So, what they could have improved upon in future games, or in this game with a remaster in like 10 to 11 years, is by making like one of their main characters, like an example would be Grace Ashcroft, like have her like make her the main deal of this game, such as like maybe like her blood or DNA serves as the reason to why Elpis can cure people, as she's developed antibodies to stop other viruses themselves, which would explain why they try to clone her in this game to try to replicate what they have, which makes more sense that way. And like they failed as they're doing that, so they needed to go grab her so that they can succeed at it. That way you would actually have a reasonable story there. And you can also kind of like make her as a character herself, have her like, you know, have growth throughout the game, not just make her scared and stuttering her words throughout the entire game. What was up with that? Like, there's no growth at all. Like, just maybe at the beginning, yeah, okay, she's scared, but like really, like nowhere in the game does she have any growth at all. Like, just why? The other characters that they can change to make this game better is like both of the antagonists. As with Victor, they could make him more scary or just more interesting in his abilities, like such as he injects other zombies with mutated versions, which causes them to have different abilities, such as like fire or electricity, or they're just bigger and regenerate faster. Like, that's more interesting ideas and more creative outlooks on just this game as itself. And maybe explain like, oh, he was the one who created the giant spider, or just have more of giant spider with like other like baby little smaller spiders to fight in Raccoon City with Leon. Like, there's so much that they could have put in here that I don't know why they didn't. Like for the other antagonists, like Xeon, they could have made him an Italian man, like an Italian mafia or something like that, or someone who wants to make profit off of this new virus or something like that. Or hell, just like make him like Wesker, just with slight alterations instead of like big alterations to his design. Like, it just makes no sense. Like, it's just off-putting, like, just to the franchise that I've played through, and just through all the games and all the stuff like that. Like, you can even make him like a nephew of Oswald Spencer, and I would still believe that would be better than what we've gotten, like a clone named Xeon. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, what? Weird. The only thing I have to say about Leon in this game that they could probably improve upon is just more or less, well, they could have had him hunt down Gideon at the beginning of the game through different hunts throughout different cities and stuff like that. Had that instead, that probably would have been a little bit better than have him interact with Grace and stuff like that, as it was in the beginning. They also could have explained like how he got sick with this virus and why Sherry got sick. And what about the other people who are in Raccoon City, like Claire Redfield or like Jill Valentine? Like, Like, it just doesn't make any sense about those guys. Like, are those guys sick, or I don't know. Like, they don't explain. Like, it's just weird. Anyways, that's all I have to say about Leon. Everything else about him they got right and good with this, which is good. At least they got something right as a masterpiece for him. The only other thing that I would say that they need to improve upon in this game is, for the gameplay part, have like the option to explore more of Raccoon City with like the motorcycle and go to more distant spots with it, like, you know, or just have like more damage, like you can break open walls and stuff like that. Like, just, I don't know, that's my opinion on it as a Gen Z here. So my conclusion to this video is that, well, the gameplay was very good and almost a masterpiece of itself, but the story mode and some of the characters were not done that good, like really stupidly. And as such, it just gave like a half and half, like a mid level of a game here. Like, you know, they gave for the 7th and 8th a comeback, which was really good, but now the 9th is okay. That's, wow, I don't know. Anyways, let me know your thoughts, like and subscribe, and see ya.